Today's session we have Louise in the house. Can I get a hell yes? Welcome to the 10K club. Well done. So look, your biggest month so far has been 20K. Well done for that. Was that a surprise for you?
Somewhat, although, I mean, not completely, because from following your steps of like writing down and writing it out, of going, it's got to work because I am a different person going into this. So
Nice. What have you noticed that's changed about you so far?
for myself, listening over and over, I think it's more confidence. And then, as you would say, more of the clarity. And as things have shifted in our bigger world, I think just being decisive on this is it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we hear a lot, Louise, is like because you have that immense clarity, you now know what is the right path for you and what isn't, and what's a distraction. I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't have, or anyone trying to grow their business, don't have a clear understanding of shit, I need to do this thing and I
Mhm.
don't need to do that thing. And actually
Yeah.
knowing how to say no and justifying why that's not going to be. So, for example, like, podcasting or, shit tons of like posting 24/7 is going to take a lot of time up, and people think that that's the thing that you have to do in order to get clients today, whereas I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's just you need a proven process in place. But look, that being said, what was the initial problem that
Huh.
you had that you decided to join COA for?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of similarly, like you said, I, when kind of was like, I have to do this as a business, what I decided was you went to medical school to learn medicine and you studied midwifery. You need to take on business similarly. You need to study it. And so by kind of joining different masterminds and going around and, like when you take on doing a PhD of like, can I get to saturation? When am I now starting to hear the same thing? What's the golden thread? But then also the reality as to, I have a 2-year-old and going, we need some mama friendly strategies. This is not built for a mom. I'm a mom. I'm a mom with a 2-year-old and about to be 15-year-old. I'm a mom with a 2-year-old, about to be 15-year-old, running mostly things single. My husband's a priest. Um, so I need, and coming from a family of engineers, framework, structure, and I need to simplify, and knowing actually that I can't. I'm hearing about this. There's only so many hours in the day. Come again. That doesn't work. Um, not going to happen. So going through that, and then I was on, a friend encouraged me to join, what's that thing where you're more on the phone because of what was going on Facebook and you're just listening.
Clubhouse.
And I was in that, that's where I heard you speak. And I was like, okay, he just went in a very straight line. That's my kind of thinking. And so that was what stood out, was going, yes, of going, I know it's going to work because by sampling, there is consistency as to know when you get these checkpoints happening several different places, there's a consensus in a way, like, okay. And then going, however, what is a systematized step 1, step 2, step 3? And then with all of the things then going, okay, now how do you carve the time to put it in action? I have the idea, but what does that mean? And if I can't, I think where I am now of going, okay, get a sense. I know what this is. Who's the expert, or who has this? This is their easy, lucrative, fun thing, because I'm not going to learn this. I understand the lay of the land, which one should, but now learning a new skill, I think for me, of discerning and delegation, and how long to give of a leash or how short to pull. And that just
Nice.
realizing again, there's so much context to being a business owner.
So just one second, let me jump in that. So were you nervous about making that decision? Did anything hold you back? What were you hesitant about?
I was nervous, of course, when you go, if you don't have money to spend, you don't have money to lose. So that is always the nerve of going, okay, you are a hard worker and you're funding this with what you're doing right now and everything that's happening. Okay, so that was my nervous point. And then running it through my brain so many times of going, but net, you're an excellent student. If you can be given, here's the plan, I don't have an ego. If they've perfected it, then let's do it. Success leaves clues. So the battle between the two of going, yes, there's this money thing, and it kind of still is in a way. And two, though, what have you done before that then you have evidence that it works? Meaning when you have studied with those who are excellent from a naturopathy or whatever, now you gain excellent results. So why wouldn't you do the same in business? So it was just that, and continues to be that, of going, you're applying the same discipline. You're taking it on like you're in a PhD. So don't, in PhD, you're poor actually. So take it. Like,
I think sometimes people, like, it's a normal part of, I think, growing a business. But as you become more successful, you start realizing it starts to become much easier to part with money to get other people to do stuff. Like those first steps are very critical. I'd say most people in the entrepreneurial coaching consultancy space struggle with paying other people because they just don't make enough money already. And I get that. But as you become more successful, it becomes much, much easier to do that. Like I still spend, I don't know, 50, 60K a month training our team up, hiring other people to train our team up. And that makes total commercial sense, even though I could probably train them better, right? It's not even about that. It's about the fact that it frees up your time, and it's impossible to scale without paying other people to do stuff for you. And it becomes, I'd much rather pay someone else to do something than, if you can generate an income without having to be there, that's infinite return. And so as we go to the next stages and we automate your signature program, when you're not there and you're generating client results, that's infinite return. And so that's how I always think, for the next levels that we're building right now, how can I train someone else to do that? What have you liked the most out of COA so far, whether it's the methodology, whether it's the live consultation clinics, whether it's the 24/7 support, whether it's the funnels, whether it's the frameworks, whether it's the closer process, whether it's the ads, whether it's the terms and conditions, you name it. What's the best for you?
I would say the one-on-one sessions, I think for me, work the best.
So the one-to-one sessions with, are you with Ava or Kevin or?
Kevin.
Nice.
So those, for me, as somebody, I don't know, who's very relational, that works the best for me always. It's the shortest shortcut for myself of going, if I can have a conversation, a lot is going to happen for me. I get more out of that. And then the next part for me is always whenever stuff is in audio form, because to me, I'm like, that's mommy friendly. I can use my hands. Like I just handed off my two boys. And so I'm able to listen, in terms of the university on wheels or while I'm still having the kids around. So those to me are the most influential or set checkpoints that of, try to do this or execute this or just the focus, and then coming back in. And so that's what I'm learning. And then something I haven't done in clients and automations yet, but it was new for me to try something new this year, was to actually get a peer in the group and to meet with them every week consistently, like have it diarized. And that has been really big for me.
Amazing. So if you were to, what would you say to someone who was on the edge of joining, and they may be like, again, time poor, they may have a couple of kids, because people always say, I don't have the time, right? And the thing that you get back is time, but there has to be there's that moment where like you have no time, but you want to get time back. That's what you get back. But unless you are willing to sacrifice a bit of time to get the time, then nothing ever changes. So what would you say to someone that was on the edge of joining?
I would say, magnify your why, blow it up, get really big on the emotion of it, and then do it. I mean, that's for myself what it is. It's going, the why is I'm mom first, and then I love taking care of my clients and seeing them really thrive and be awesome. My children need me, particularly in COVID. Like, okay, I've got to be fully mom and work at the same time and have some sanity. So there is no way to it but through it. So
I
that's
like
my
that.
mindset
But
at this
because
point.
the cost of not having that time, what would that have been to you if you know, like if you'd have been stuck in that time warp with no time, what would that have
Well,
been to you?
I wrote that down because you asked what was the cost of inaction, and it was very blunt for me of going, you know, just already the exhaustion,
Mm,
realizing my own vibrancy not being there. Then the debt, the loneliness of it,
mm,
because I like having people around. Um, and frankly, for myself, without kind of, I guess, specializing or pivoting with everything that has been happening of going, I don't want to be in medicine and I don't really like being here anymore. So, my true joys are like, I think the gift was Martin of like, wow, you came at like the best time of like keeping me really grounded. And then because I had to spend a lot more time with my son and try to work at the same time and triage a whole bunch of acuity, of just going, how do I tip the balance back? So that was my very full, kind of like, what's the cost of not doing this?
wow.
And going, I don't, that's not my normal thought process. I'm not that
No,
down and going,
I don't think most
so.
people think about what it's going to really truly cost them for not getting the result that they want. And, I'll be straight with you. Most people in the online space will wait, several years. And then it's only until that pain erupts them, whether it's, their partner complaining that they don't have enough time, or it's their kids that they don't see you anymore, or there's just, you hit that pain point so many times over. And then sometimes, unfortunately, it's too late because like it's gone on for so long, confidence has diminished. And what people don't realize is the more your confidence diminishes, the less you believe is possible. And if you genuinely believe it's impossible for you, then no amount of information is going to help. And that's why so many people in the online space give up, because they get to that stage where it's just nothing's going to make any difference. So look,
Mhm,
that being said, Louise, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, because it doesn't work without amazing people that are coachable, easy. And look, I'm really excited about expanding the next stages. So give yourself a
mhm.
hand. Well done for joining the 10K club, and let's get you automated and sort out your next steps.